Hey y'all, Scott here, and man oh man do I ever hate Nintendo. That's why I bought all of these games, just to make fun of.
That brings us to the front of the console, which is the 6.2-inch 720p screen. This may not sound impressive in 2017, but it is the physical embodiment of good enough. Coming from the Wii U gamepad and Nintendo 3DS, this is leagues better and is in line with something like the PlayStation Vita screen, and everybody loves that thing. Controllers to the console and playing handheld mode for 2 hours before the system died. Picked up Mario Kart 7. It's a solid version of Mario Kart, definitely. However, I picked up a few games, one of those being Super Mario 3D Land, also referred to as the savior of the 3DS. Speaking of Mario games, potentially the most controversial game on the system was Paper Mario Sticker Star, also referred to as generation served as a lot of 2D platformers. Maybe too many. Actually, yeah, too many. But the 3DS had a ton of solid ones. The 3DS was the system I beat Donkey Kong Country Returns on. The 2 Kirby games on the 3DS were excellent. However, Planet Robobot platformers without bringing up New Super Mario Bros. 2. I beat it in a matter of hours the day I bought it, and that always stuck out to me. But you want to talk about nothing breathtaking or surprising by any means, Yoshi's New Island. Good God, I did not care for this game. And this is a cartridge-shaped garbage. Take a gander at Chibi Robo Ziplash. Alright, whatever. I didn't like a few 2D platformers on the 3DS, but the majority of them were pretty good to pretty great. Professor Layton had a few fun entries on the 3DS, but in terms of traditional puzzle games like Tetris, we had Tetris Access, which I didn't really get into. Yeah, Puzzle & Dragon Z plus Puzzle & Dragon Super Mario Bros. Edition. It's a decent package, but I personally didn't really get into it. As a fun little distraction, there was Ultimate NES Remix, the same NES Remix Nintendo said couldn't run on the 3DS. In terms of simulation-type games, I played Animal Crossing New Leaf and Tomodachi Life content. Animal Crossing got a spin-off on the 3DS in the form of Happy Home Designer, but I actually haven't played it. The 3DS had so many. Finally, we have to talk about Smash Brothers. This was when the 3DS peaked in my opinion, as the majority of games that came after it really didn't appeal to me. 2015 and 2016 were just... Also, this thing plays DS games. I am way into the preservation of games. I mean, just look at all these games. Other than a feeling of undeniable remorse, these games bring me nothing but pure joy. In my opinion, games need to be held on the same level as movies and books, and overpricing was recently in the form of LEGO City Undercover. Originally released as a Wii U exclusive for the retail price of $49.99, WB Games has finally gotten around to releasing the game on current platforms for a
Hey y'all, Scott here, and would you shut up for like a minute because I'm trying to focus on my Connect Sports Season 2 speedrun. If I screw this up, the KSS 2 speedrunning community won't let me hear the end of it. Wow, I didn't know humiliation came included with this thing.
Listen, I have a solid tree trunk's worth of games in this room. I think they speak for themselves in terms of what I enjoy. I don't need posters or figurines to emphasize that. And then the Xbox launched on November 15th, 2001, and Microsoft did a really solid job on their first outing in the console market. Halo, Oddworld, Munch's Odyssey, Project Gotham Racing, Fusion Frenzy, all at launch. That's pretty solid, including stuff like Cel Damage, Dead or Alive 3, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2X. Game room is a concept I've fallen in love with. I've always been big into the whole man cave thing. Game room, studio, living room, office. You can't really have a game room without amassing a cornucopia of games and systems. I wanted a room friends could walk into and see. This was what I wanted back in June of 2013, and that was the time I started working towards building. I just never felt sturdy. The way I set up my original PS4 for the first time, I hated it. I changed it. That meant I had to move the shelves over to the right side of the room, which, hey, if you've seen this room, you know the iconic wall slant. That made putting shelves against it difficult, but it worked in the end. Eventually, I bought a third cheap media shelf. I wanted these because they were way sturdier, plus being much deeper allowed for more things to fit in them. The old I definitely transformed it into my own little virgin circus, but it was obvious I was outgrowing it. I barely had any room anymore. My computer desk was right smack in front of my NES games. As this is my current game room, and I'm pretty happy with everything as it is. There's not like here we have Sex Wall, Xbox 360 and original Xbox. Listen, I love both of these consoles, but they're also in the this console is great. It was the most powerful at the time, and on top of that, it has a great library of exclusives. I don't know why my collection splits off and continues all the way over here, and that's the current game room. As it is, I like the room. I don't know. Yes, we return to the fabled backlog, games I own but just have been refusing to play for the longest time. And next time I'm gonna beat a game from my backlog, I have no excuses to finally play Max Payne 3. So next time I'll be checking out I'll just sell something! The only question is, what? I could sell, Ridge Racer 6. That's not f***ing happening. I'll never sell my copy. I'm broke, not stupid. I'll just look up how much debit cards sell for.
Alright.
To Yoshi's Woolly World on Wii U, and that game was phenomenal. Nothing groundbreaking, it was pretty much another Yoshi's Island game, but it was such a love.
Turns out it's possible to get free money from corporations. All you have to do is say what they want you to say. Ventriloquism. It's fucking ventriloquism. That is exactly what I could use right now. I just have to form some kind of following online, and corporations will be all over me to show their stupid fucking trash. All you have to do is form a fan base, and they'll sponsor your flesh. You know what that means. I'm gonna make so that means I'm ahead of most of the Vimeo user base. You may say, Scott, you need to give these corporations a reason to give you free money. You need to give people a reason to want to follow you. You need to make something. I'll make a deal with these companies. I'll make content on this account, no problem. They just have to sponsor me first. This is taking longer than I thought. Alright, I gave in. I posted a video trying to lure these companies over to me.
My opinion already doesn't matter, so just buy it!
So now all we have to do is wait for some desperate companies to start lining up. I may have 0 followers, but I'm a ticking time bomb of popularity. The question is, what companies are desperate enough to buy me out? Well, really, who wants to be paid by a VPN service? That's super lame. That's like me opening up my next Vimeo post with, I'm sponsored by the morgue. See, I play stupid Nintendo games. Is there a video game company who's on the market for a Scott? Oh, yeah. Now this game is a sponsorship legend. Everybody's seen something sponsored by them. That's exactly why I didn't want to play it. It's the hip thing to get paid for these days, and while I'd rather die than read a press release about Raid Shadow Legends to my Vimeo followers, that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. Considering my Vimeo account officially now has content, I think Polarium's in the market to pay me. So I'm gonna play Raid Shadow Legends to get paid and depressed.
Close 13th. Having just a big fat wall of all things lonely is so satisfying. Being able to walk out with Brink 7 years later, what happened to me? And so I bought more. The collector needed if they were available at a store I was visiting and at a reasonable price, and 7 years later, can you tell I'm not Amish? I list all my games once and then I just bought games and didn't sell them for 7 years. It was incredible. They had nearly every game you could have possibly asked for available. Tons of displays and playable kiosks. I love collecting and having this giant wall of garbage, but I kind of miss the simplicity of the smaller game collections. So much space is taken up by these things, and that's a thought I've had a lot lately. Yeah, I do have this feeling of preservation when I'm collecting these games. But who am I kidding? But collecting was and is such a fun time that I wouldn't mind doing it all over again. All these things are, and it's honestly really hard to read these things from only a small length away. There was no downside to this. I've got a Blink Smash 2 play every single day. I looked like the biggest Minecraft buying my Xbox One. Anybody seeing me with the box in my shopping cart, they must have thought, wow, that guy must have hobbies. Of course, this came out a year after the system's launch, which was during its demise. Many players have become well versed in these methods to get more money. So they advertised the hell out of these types of games on Wii U, which led them to trying this out on their own. Yep, here it is. After that, the only taste we ever got was Fallout Brotherhood of Steel on Xbox and PlayStation 2. Son of a bitch.
What?
Because us professionals,
So what are you supposed to be?
Oh, I'm a liar.
Me too. Vampires.
I'm going as if the Wolfman was going as me.
I'm trying to go as an adult, but I need more time.
Well, if we're all gonna be adults this Halloween, we gotta lay down a couple of ground rules. Rule number 1, no rules. Rule number 2, no candy.
But what if I'm giving up not Swedish fish for Lent?
Well, how are we gonna decorate these pumpkins?
Nah, that's too whimsical. We can write our last will and testaments on them.
I'd rather wait to deal with that when I'm ready and dead.
Why wait?
Dear Will, I leave to you my childhood collection of...
Your childhood?
So instead of bobbing for apples, as adults, we'll bob for credit card debt.
Nothing more childlike than some soggy fruit.
Soggy fruit! You're no adult! I can't believe I thought I could have authentic adult-only experience with you this Halloween. Enjoy your credit card debt, minor.
Without a calendar, I'll never know what date the 4th of July is. April Fool's Day, New Year's, and with Christmas coming soon, the last thing I need is to not know Christmas is coming soon. Wait, that's it! I'll ask for a calendar for Christmas! Which is great because even if I had money, I hate supporting the word Wednesday. Though you must admit,
I just don't think old Xbox games are in demand like the other platforms.